My face up there.
Mhm. Good morning, everybody. Cindy and Jen Sprentison here, Senior Presidential Directors. So excited to have you all with us for the Directors and Above gathering this morning. And we are going to be talking today about leaders take ownership. So, as we get started, I want to bring up a couple slides, but we're going to have a lot of interaction today. So, I want to welcome, I see we've got some others on that haven't been on for a while. Veronique, welcome aboard. Matt Shannon, I don't know if it's Matt or Stephanie, I think it's Matt. Um,
It's Matt.
Hey,
Hey,
Matt, good
Matt.
morning. And I see a Becky. I'm not sure who that one is, but
Becky is in our downline,
okay,
or she's one of our
perfect.
brand partners for a while now. Yep.
All right, awesome. Welcome, Becky.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being with us. So we're going to jump through some slides. What we've been doing is we have some topics of discussion. And if you have not seen the last few, they are on the Jensen LifeWave Telegram page. Feel free to go back and watch. We kind of started out with, how do you set your goals? How do you achieve what it is that you're called to do? Then we've talked about identity. We really laid a foundation for, who you are and what you're capable of. And so last week we stepped more into leadership. But I think today, even though it's about, leaders take ownership, I think where we are really going to camp out is there are so often that I'm realizing this is a real weak point for many of our teamwork. So the LifeWave opportunity is a real business. So I want to just take that slide down for a minute and let's have some discussion. If you need help unmuting, just feel free to chat and let me know if you're having any trouble. But where are you all struggling for this being a real business in your lives? What is your challenge? Because if you're having it, that means your downline's having it. I had a discussion with somebody this morning, and he said, you know what? The leadership's going to do what the leadership does. Remember, we talked last week about we're duplicating what we're going to have downline. We talked about the consistency. And he was kind of revealing that maybe I haven't been where I needed to be, and that's part of the issue. So, where are you being challenged with recognizing that this is a real business?
Well, Cindy, for Guy and I, we have, since you've been talking about that, and we've been reevaluating where we are, which I think we have to do often,
Yes.
evaluate our business often and where we are. And we realize we've owned businesses our whole life.
Mhm.
I mean, multiple businesses, and we were not taking advantage of that in our conversations with our new people. So Guy and I have kind of revamped what we're what we're going to be saying, and
Yes.
we're really starting. And he looked up a lot of business people that he's associated with in the past, and we're kind of going over, it's a new approach. Our approach has always been the product. So
Yep.
it's a new approach for us. So we talked about that at length and about using that because we have such knowledge in that. Why not use that for people? I mean, it's like a no-brainer what it costs us to do a Goodyear store compared to a business now.
Yep. I completely agree. Who else?
So, for me, well, obviously, like in the past, I've always been a product person. That was just the wellness coach in me. That's what I had available, and that's what I was doing. And even at the beginning of this journey, that's what I focused on, and it worked really well as far as getting customers in. But again, definitely it's not a solid foundation. You have people dropping off left and right. So I know that the business and duplicating is the key. And so since the last few months I've been focusing on that. I haven't been I haven't signed up as many people, but the people that I'm signing up are they are have the foundation of the business. I struggle probably because I'm not necessarily approaching already business people, I don't quite have that confidence yet. I mean, I'm working on it. I'm obviously it's a growth process. So the people that are in my business doing the business and trying to duplicate, they're also not quite confident with approaching business people because they themselves aren't necessarily in that mindset quite yet, or they are, but they're beginning, So that's where I have to shift my probably my prospecting and who I talk to a little bit more, and just get the courage to talk to people who are already of business mindset.
Yeah.
But I am, like today I had a friend and I went for a long walk with her, and I knew when I got her on the patches that she was extremely stressed, a single mom of 4, and she has them basically full time. So I knew beginning of school, it was a bad time to even approach the business part of it. But now she's settled down. So I invited her for a walk, and I literally just invited her into the business because it opened up with her saying she does feel like she needs to work. She needs a purpose. And then boom, I just came in and shared some of the main things about the company and what we do and all this stuff and how much fun it is. And she loves having fun. She is a very fun person. So that's,
I want
guess,
to bring up something what
go
I'm
ahead.
talking about too is as you were saying, kind of new and bringing that business opportunity about. I love what Steve says. If you're new or you've been with it a while, you might word it a little different, but I think, or hey, I'm onto something huge and I want you to take a look at it because I would love, and this is Gina's line always, I would love you on my team, or I really think this can bless you and bless your family and your circle. So I love that line because it opens the door for a business opportunity, but it also brings the technology with it. So that's really important. And I think too, what you just said, Lila, about, maybe you're not sponsoring as many people because you're leading a little bit more with the business. We all want the users, but the users, even when they get a testimony, there are times they fall off just because they're not engaged. We've talked about this over and over. But in the business, then plugging into what's available, the fire just gets lit and keeps growing. And I want to bring up too, this morning I posted Greg and Nina Wambier's motivational message. I think it was a week ago, Monday they did it. But I was listening to it again and I was like, man, it's so powerful. And if you haven't seen it, watch it because they put all the right bullet points in. It was amazing. And, I assume that you all are watching that stuff, but I drop it in sometimes when I'm like, man, I had to go listen to that one again. It was so amazing. But yeah, anybody else, this just where you're at, or just another minute here, where you're at or where you're struggling with your team. I know some of you may have just jumped on. So this is what we're talking about right now, that the LifeWave opportunity is a real business. I only want to spend another minute here, but I know there's somebody that's probably got something else that they want to.
Yeah, I can jump in on that real quick, Cindy. For me, I think the main thing right now, because we're basically ramping back up in the ramp back up phase here. And I think really the biggest thing for me is with the changes that we've all gone through with LifeWave, with the compensation revamping and all of those things, me just getting reacclimated to what we're actually offering, what we actually have as a business model now. Just those intimate details I have to polish up, and so that's pretty much.
That's really good. And that's part of what we were talking about the last couple of weeks too, of, just how do you get good? By practicing.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it well, you can go back and say, gee, I shared with you and I didn't know what I was talking about, or I messed up, or I think I understand it better now. We're on to something huge. And, I know you do have confidence. That was Matt, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know your confidence level, Matt, and your leadership abilities and what you've done in the past. Just
Yeah.
back into it. You've got it. You don't even have to think much about it. The rest of it's gonna flow. The compensation plan hasn't even begun the 2.0 enhancement yet. It will after convention in October. So just move with it.
I was going to say, I think one of the biggest things that you may have that on your list to discuss, but is just to show up. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's a real business, you would show up every day.
Yep.
If a brand partner was a job, you have a job, or did you get fired on Friday?
Yep.
And that's the thing. I mean, showing up is, these kind of things, especially the Saturday training. I mean, if you don't stay connected, you're going to fall off. I mean, that's why a lot of your people, you talk about, they fall off. Well, most of the time it's because they never get connected.
Never got engaged, never got part of the community.
And sometimes no matter what you do, you can't connect them. So it's
Right.
it's not necessarily your fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just the way it is. People are busy and this and that and the other. But the biggest thing is show up. A real business. Every day you do stuff, and if you don't, pretty soon you don't have a business. If you don't stay engaged, you don't stay with in a real business. Sometimes there's continued education. You may have had to have a college degree to do it. I don't know, but there's stuff to do, just like there is here. And this is easy because it's just it's an hour here, an hour there, and it's all recorded. If you're not available on Saturday, watch it Sunday. Doesn't matter. So
I was going to say, Jen, you're exactly right. The best thing is that these calls are recorded, and the worst things is that these calls are recorded.
That's right.
Because I mean, it really is the truth, because everyone's like, oh, it's recorded, I'll just watch it later. How do we get our team to understand the importance of being on that Monday night call? I mean, before in our business, when we did this type of industry, we had to actually physically go to a meeting every Monday night, and we were accountable. We were accountable. You would have to see us at that meeting.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I'll listen to it tomorrow. How do we change that? What can we do to encourage our team? I don't know.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I had two comments to come out of my mouth. One is on what Jen said, because the low entry price, people don't look at this as the 6 to 7 figure earner opportunity. Let's just come back here. You see that? The $1 Million Club. That's what we want for everybody. That doesn't mean it was 1 million. I'm just saying the club is the $1 Million Club. But the other thing, what you just said, Lynn, is so important. And that is a $1 million question you just asked. And here's the answer. We have the fire that inspires them to know that there's something more. How do we keep the fire? We stay plugged in. We're hearing the calls. We're on the training. We're on the Monday and Wednesday night. This is it, Team Zooms. That's how we keep the fire. We're running with the community. We're excited about the testimonies. Like Lila, you and Courtney, Monday night, just the way that you shared, powerful. That's the fire that we've got to have. Remember last week we talked about you drip the fire that is created from what you do. So how strong of a leader do you want to be? How big of a fire do you want? We actually, all the foundational things we brought up the last 5 or 6 weeks are exactly what keep coming up, right? Yeah. I'm so glad they keep coming up, because that's Holy Spirit confirmation that we're on the right track. We're all needing the same thing. So I think, Lynn, for me, we've got to carry the fire. Got to carry it. Thank you for bringing that up. Let me move to the next slide so we get through some stuff here that just brings up more opportunity for conversation and learning and transparency. So from This Is It action plan, page 22 at the top, these are things that a leader, we've been talking about this, but this is the next step. The things we've got to do are
take ownership.
Woo, come on.
Be responsible.
Yeah.
And think success.
If you don't do those 3 things, Nobody else with you is going to do them
Yep.
either. You've got to let your thoughts, your words, and your actions line up with your desires, your dreams, and your goals. If they don't, you are letting your own self and your own family down. And the people that are following you, you are a leader. How are you leading? Because your leadership is what's going to light the fire underneath you, underneath the people under the people under the people under. So it's so, so, so important. This is something Jen's mentioned a minute ago. You are not in business if you are not on the Saturday training Zooms. And Lynn, you said it. The great thing is our meetings and the team meetings are recorded. The bad things is they're recorded. They are recorded. But that's what's so amazing, because it doesn't matter where in the world you are. It doesn't matter what your job is. Just like Julia Foster working at Costco says, gee, I want to be on all the meetings, but most of the weeks I'm at work. So I listen to the recordings. Thank you for recording it. It's feeding me. It's feeding me. It's helping me to get my fire again. And that is what the team training. So I want to shift a little bit, because I'm going to ask for a raise of hands. Who watched Saturday's training? Yeah. Okay. That was
Off
absolutely
the charts.
powerful. And not that the one before that on the Saturday before wasn't, but that is the fire that we get to carry all week. And what was so amazing, Pastor Ted Shuttlesworth followed Gina and Steve. Steve just had back surgery, for crying out loud. The guy just had neck surgery 6 weeks ago. Now he had back surgery. He's only a week post-op. I'm on the phone with them every day going over the things. You know, does it look like an infection? Is he, you know, da, 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 da. You don't know any of that. That guy jumped out of the bed after 3 days of being like, ugh, and he comes up and did this, a recording with Gina the day before, I think it was. And then they came on and did the Zoom. And I'm like, holy smokes, you would not know, because he took it up. He took it up to the next level.
Right.
And that was the thing. I mean, when Mina and Greg talked on the motivational message about, are you all in? What we're going for. Who are you concerned about? Who do you want to bring with you? And then Steve showing us how to go to the next level, even when your body is going, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Your head goes there. And I was just so blown away by Saturday.
Oh.
And I just, I don't know if we understand the impact that feeding, that fire, we're all saying the same thing, but we're saying it with our own little personality vibe, right? That stuff is fuel to our fire. And when we get that, it puts fuel to the fire of our team.
So if you didn't watch Saturday, make sure you watch
Yep.
it.
And if you,
I've watched it twice.
same. So anybody want to throw some stuff out about just, and I'm going to get into, we're going to move into the Ted Shuttlesworth in a minute, but anybody want to throw something out about just Saturday trainings or what Gina and Steve said, and then we'll step into the Pastor Ted Shuttlesworth Jr. after that.
Well, I was going to say, I think I'm just going to take some of this stuff to my team.
Yeah.
And just let them know if you guys are, I mean, I've said this before, but I need to just reiterate, if you're not on the team calls, you're not in the game. If you're not on the trainings, you're not in the game. You're just not engaged. You're not, because when you're listening to the calls on a regular basis, your brain's constantly thinking of people to talk to and touch on. And when you're in a conversation, it's at the forefront of your brain so that you will bring it up. But yeah, if we're not engaged and we're listening, to the drama on Facebook and social media right now, and that's all we're filling our head with, how in the heck are we supposed to think about the patch and telling somebody about it when it's just like way back here, our business, our income.
Lila, you just used the word team. and I'm going to go back one more time. Our grandson's 15. If he has a flu and he doesn't go to school and he doesn't show up for the team workout, he does not play football Friday night or lacrosse or whatever it is. He doesn't play. So that kid might be dying and he shows up because he wants to be there because he's doing some really amazing things for a 15-year-old. That's the same way. If we're not showing up for our Monday night team call, we're not, or if, others have their own team breakdown too under us, but if we're not showing up, we're not getting the training. Oh my goodness. It's like, we're really not part of the team. How can we expect our team to do what we aren't doing? Right?
Yeah, Cindy, you're hitting it straight on the head, and I think just to take it a little, just one step, just beyond that, it's about why. It's the why is that important, right? It's because of building momentum. And how do we build momentum? We build momentum by plugging in. And the more we plug in, the more we share.
Yep.
It starts to
Right.
build. And then we just have to feed the fire to
That's
keep
it.
it going. Yeah. So momentum building is really the key. And that's why we want to plug in and stay plugged in and encourage our people to plug in. And that's how it goes.
As how the fire gets lit. We talked about momentum. You may have listened to it, Matt, because you're regurgitating it. Momentum.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Okay. So momentum, because you're a leader, but momentum is the thing that happens when we just get in and we bring 4 people with us and we build our own little momentum right in that little group. Momentum is the thing that happens when we start growing the team and the fire starts dripping. It is all about momentum. Gina and Steve built This Is It team on momentum, or you could call it the ignorance on fire. That's how we started until we had a system after we'd been in a year. So it is about the momentum. And that's what.
If we don't add wood to the fire will go out.
Yep.
It just will.
Yep, the
Exactly.
fuel.
Opinion on something. I'm
Yeah.
building momentum right now. I don't know where to continue from there with my.
Is somebody, I think somebody just spoke and I couldn't hear it.
Sorry.
That you just.
It was at work here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Were you sharing with us or at work?
No. It's something at work.
Okay, perfect. That's all
Sorry.
right. Yep, that's what I love. We're all multitaskers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so amazing. Thank you all for sharing what you've shared so far. I'm going to jump back to the slides okay. I really want to get on a soapbox for a minute and you all can get right here with me. The book of the month. This is so important because most of them are in Audible, right? This one happens to not be. So we're going back to having, ours is downstairs.
Yeah.
We started it a few days ago. But we're going back to a paperback book this month. And it's great because now I'm highlighting again instead of using the Audible. But these books of the month are meant to strengthen our leadership and our mindset. And they do. So we're going to shift gears now. And I want to talk about the part of Saturday's training. And again, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. When Pastor Ted Shuttlesworth Jr. jumped on for 20 minutes, he did a recorded message because he ended up being on a flight and talked about, just how do we go further faster? That's what we're all wanting. It was like the book was written for us, even though I put in Telegram, there's a link. He also did a little thing just for our team that we need to download. But
Yeah.
further faster, how do we move further faster? And the whole point of this is impartation. I mean, it's just everything we're building on in this teamwork is a spiritual principle, spiritual foundation. And the further faster is about the impartation. The impartation is the transferring or giving something to someone else. You've got to have a desire for that, though, most of the time. You desire the impartation. I want the impartation. So you start, you be with those people that have something to impart to you so that you can receive that impartation. And it's a spiritual deposit from others that are just a little further ahead of you. And I love, that God takes their wisdom and their knowledge to give us an accelerant
Right.
to our growth.
Yes.
So massive. We're not even paying for that.
You don't have to start at the bottom. I mean, you can take what they've already done, and I mean, if you're willing, this stuff is imparted to you.
That's right.
You really, it's like I think I was reading something today. It may have been in his book, but just talking about like technology. Apple invented the iPhone, but did they invent all the little pieces? And they invent a way to go mine aluminum or all the parts of that phone? No, but they just took on everybody else's stuff, and that's what they created. So, and this is the same way. I mean, it's the
We're
same.
taking on the system.
Yeah.
We're listening to the team calls. Excellent analogy. Yeah. And the thing is that so many people, I'm going to go back to for just a minute, startup companies fail because of the people starting up or how they got set up, right? I'm going to take that to the fact that 2% of people, so maybe 2% of startups too, are the ones that are going to be the builders. They're going to be the high achievers. They're going to bring the momentum. 98% not.
I think
We want to be in that.
I think statistically, 4 out of 5 startups fail.
They do.
And really, it's probably about, I mean, the numbers in this business are probably about the same.
Yep.
So that's just the way it is.
Well, and the
So-
great,
So you have to overcome all that, just like any other business. So,
and the great thing is when people are getting plugged into the team system, they might be feeling like they're, I don't know, useless, that they don't have anything to give and they don't know how to give it and they don't know how to pull out of themselves what we've been talking about for the last 4 weeks, and become that useful, dynamic person that, I mean, I look back at Olga Solis. Oh my goodness, she's on food stamps. She's got an autistic child, and now she's making massive tens of thousands per week just because she has a passion to bless as many other people and moms and families as she can now. And I love too that Pastor Ted Shuttlesworth Jr. said, don't compare yourself to backwards. In other words, don't look back to do your comparison so much. Compare forward. Like we've been talking about for weeks, who are we called to be? What is within us? So if that's within us, then we've got that big picture of who we're called to be and who we are if we just got it in our head because of who lives inside of us. So if we've got that, let's compare forward to, my gosh, this is who I'm called to be, not who I was, but who I am and who I'm becoming.
right.
And I loved that.
Yeah. Compare yourself to, Mike Hernandez or Gina and Steve or Olga or,
Yeah.
or somebody like that. Don't compare yourself to somebody that's been on your team for a year and signed up 2 people.
Or what about yourself 5 or 10 years ago or 10 months ago, maybe
Right,
even,
right.
Yeah. And surround yourself with the producers.
Well, as you always say, you're gonna become the 5 people you hang around with the most.
Yeah.
So be careful who you're spending time with.
And I want to make a comment one more time. If you're not doing the book of the months, go back. I'm usually doing 2 or 3 books at one time. So sometimes I get them mixed up. So it's not always positive in that manner, but I'm getting fed. I'm in the car, I'm listening. I'm going to get as much as I can because I want it all. Do you want it all? It's all there for us. Every bit of it's there for us. And so wait a minute, my slides are jumping. So the next point I want to make, and we'll open up for a conversation just a minute, is what seems impossible? Whatever looks insane to achieve, go for it. Let's go for it. The only limitation for you, because the Lord said, what I've got, it's all yours. So the only limitation is who we think we are or what we think we're able to achieve. No, that whole picture changes with the Lord, and it changes with this as a team. Go for it. Get better, get great, and do not settle for anything less. Don't settle. Any closing comments? Any questions? Any things that you're, with teamwork, what do you want to take away this week? Be thinking about that.
I think one of the things that struck me from the training is when they were giving the analogy of Will Smith,
Yep.
and he wanted to be the biggest international star in the world. So he's had them check to see who does the most, who's got the most going on, which would be like in our world, Steve and Gina. But he said, I want to tell me what they do and I'm going to do more.
That's right. Just like Pastor Ted Shuttlesworth said right after that, Junior, he said, you're only set up to do 5 pros a day and, maybe 1 enrollment a week. Give me a break. What the heck? Like, what are you thinking? Take your vision up a new level. And that's where it came from. It's like, okay, do you want to do something outrageous? Look at what Steve and Gene have done. Set your sights higher. Set your sights higher than that. You have to do more and do the work. And you can do far more than you are right now. I'm the only obstacle to my success. And I've got to find ways to use my unproductive time productively. And just like we've talked about in the last weeks, we're asking the Lord to put those people on our path. He's going to be ready. Hello. I mean, they're coming to us sitting at the restaurant.
Yeah.
They're coming up to us. What do you guys do? We're all alone celebrating my birthday. You guys must be doing something fun. You look like you're having a good time. And then we have somebody come up to ask us to take their picture. Another couple. And I said, oh, sure. She goes, I've been watching you. They're in their 20s probably.
Yeah.
We've got a Zoom with them Friday. She's like, I've been watching you. Will you take our picture? I go, yeah. She goes, well, I'm watching you because I don't know what it is about you all. And I said, well, we have Jesus. She goes, I do too. But you've got something I don't have. And I said, have you ever seen this little patch? My aunt showed it to me, but nobody really knew what to do with it or believed in it. So we didn't really do anything to get involved. And I'm like, this is so huge. You have to look at it. So here you go. Anybody else want to make any comments, input, questions, anything?
Well, one of the reasons I was a little tardy is I was putting my seat covers back on my car and the security guard drove by in the car and I had said hi to him a few times. So I prospected him. I showed him the business plan. I found out what his dreams are. He wants me to come meet his wife. And he said, I don't want to work 2 jobs anymore. And I said, Benjamin, God put you in front of me for a reason. I said, if you're serious, let's just go. So
Yep.
he said, well, I can listen to the Zooms while I'm doing my second job and driving around.
Yep.
And I
love it. And
love it.
that goes back to what Matt Shannon said a few minutes ago about our why. And just asking a couple questions like you did, Patty, he's telling you his why.
Mhm.
And you've got to remember that so that you could remind him, lovingly remind him, this is your why. And we did it this week. We had a guy that got in and he said, I usually start out with a bang in companies and then I fizzle. So I didn't hear from him for a week. And I said, okay, I'm razzing you a little bit. Are you starting out with the fire and you're fizzling? And I said, if not, let me know you're okay. He called back and he said, no, he had just had some major surgery, heart surgery. He called back and he said, no, I'm dealing with this. And I said, okay, great. I said, I had to pick on you guys. Keep picking on me. It's keeping me going. But the bottom line is, I said, I know your why. I know your age. I know your why. I know what's going on in your life. And you're working so hard at your other couple of jobs. So this is where I'm focused. People don't have people saying that to them today, right? Well,
Yeah, I got just one thing, I guess, if we still have time. I'll add on.
yes.
Yeah. So it's like this, like for me, right? It's like, yeah, Will Smith and all of these people who've done big things, extraordinary achievements and stuff like that. Yeah, that's really cool. That's fantastic. Definitely can be a motivational point for some people, no doubt about it. But I think, and especially with knowing you, Cindy and Gents and everybody, and most of the people on the call, and knowing that, and I'm just going to assume that everybody on the call is a believer. And so using that as the foundation and the baseline of what I'm going to say next, it's, you know, we just have to like resolve. There's two things that, for me, my perspective as to why and how I share things with people too. And one is we just have to resolve that, number one, we have to resolve that the word is the word, and we have to take the word verbatim, the word of God, right? And so everything that it says in the book, take it verbatim. So that means all the promises that he has for us,
True.
they're in there.
Yes.
So what are the promises, right? The promises are prosperity, barns bursting at the seams,
Right.
cup running over. He blesses everything that we put our hands to.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So we have to put our hands to what he's given us and keep moving forward in faith. And then faith is really the clutch, because in Hebrews it talks about how faith, it says that um he takes no pleasure in those who turn back.
Right.
Basically turns back to perdition or turns back to destruction. And just 30 seconds and I'm done. But what that means is that he takes no pleasure in people who turn back. After we start walking by faith and the Lord starts showing up, he's a creator, right? So he creates, he's not a destroyer, which is why he takes no pleasure in people who discontinue their faith, they discontinue their growth of faith, their faith walk in the areas in which he has established for them to walk in. And so, and that is, I know for me, and I'm sure for everybody else, we want to please the Lord. And so if the Bible, we take it verbatim and it says he takes no pleasure in them who turn back to destruction, then we have no choice but to have patience and be steadfast in our walk and continue to walk this thing out and allow him to continuously bless us along the way. And no, it may not look like a Will Smith epic movie on day one in the bank account, right? Maybe it doesn't look like that in year one, but it doesn't matter because we don't have to compare ourselves with other people. We're on our own journey, and he's going to bless our barns. He's going to bless our cup. He's going to bless everything that we put our hands to because he's faithful.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep. That was awesome. Matt, I can't believe that you haven't been on the last few calls because you're literally going down them, reading the slides. I love it. See, lifetimes filled with the Spirit. It's amazing where we end up, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All similar, saying it differently, but
That's
the same
right.
thing.
Cindy, the last slide you and Jen showed about the impossible, wasn't that what it said about do the impossible? Whatever looks impossible to achieve, insane to achieve, go for it.
Mhm.
I have chills. Isn't that what David Schmidt did?
That is what David Schmidt did.
Isn't that what, when we tell people about this product and people think it's insane, they just don't get it because they don't realize that he has done the insane and impossible. And that's why God has called us all.
Yep.
With God, of course.
Yeah.
But that's why God has called us in to this team because we are to continue looking for the insane to achieve. Because that's why we're here.
That's it.
That just kind of all connected for me about what he has done through God's through the Bible and everything. But that's what happened. This product, when I was telling somebody about it, they just look at you like, well, that's insane. Well, yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah. And I love to, we go back to it's so incredible for us and all those that are praying for us to show up is that the favor of the Lord is over the technology and David Schmidt, and he gives him all the glory. The favor of the Lord is over the teamwork. The favor of the Lord is over everything that we lay our hands on. So I love the fact that as we're getting that mindset, and I appreciate Matt, you just laying that foundation again. It's just so beautiful that looking forward to comparing forward to what it is we actually have that is ours to bring to a world.
Yeah.
So again, get better, get great, don't settle for anything less. And as we close, I know we've gone a little over this morning, but it's been great. We could go on another couple hours. Remember, in the Jensen LifeWave team Telegram page and in This Is It team, you can find the Bahama Cruise team tracker. If somebody's just getting enrolled today, they can still qualify for this Bahama cruise. There will be managers on that cruise. We fought for 1,000 people, an unlimited number of people. So we've been fighting to get not a cap on this cruise. And the bottom line is anybody can make it if they put their mind to it. You could just be starting today, even where you sit, and make this cruise. So we're challenging you all, do the activity that it's going to take. I know our goal we had set for the team for those trying to reach senior director was to hit it by September 21st or before. You still have time. You still have time. I know how many of you are running for that, and keep going. It's yours. It's yours. And whatever your date is, whether it's senior director, whether it's executive, senior presidential director, set your date. If you didn't achieve the goal you set that we shared a few weeks ago, reset it. That's what we talked about. Set something outrageous. And if you don't hit it, set a new one. Set a new one. Tighten up like Jen's and I, every day we reevaluate. Every day as we sit with the Lord in the morning, we have our devotions and our prayer time. I mean, we're journaling. This is where we are. We want all he has for us. And we want to bring it to a world that is praying, because we know we have Jesus and we have this technology and this opportunity. And that's where your hearts are too. And we're just grateful that you're on our team with us. How many are you going to pro each day? You know, you might want to set the 5. I heard somebody say, well, if you can't do 5, do 3. But you know what? Set the goal higher. Set the bar higher than you can achieve. And speed does equal success, and the speed of the group equals the speed of the leadership. Thank you all for being on with us today. This has been an absolutely amazing call, and we're so glad that a couple of you that haven't been on, I'm so glad you're able to jump on today. We are meeting every Wednesday with director and above from noon to 12 to 12:30 or a little over. And we want to build those numbers because we've seen such growth with even in just the directors and above that have been taking part. So we love you. God bless you. Have an amazing week.